You want to take fresh wood that feels manageable. Anything, this would be about as small as I would go, is like 3 to 4 inches. And I wouldn't personally go bigger than like this one, which is 6, 7 inches, because it gets pretty heavy.
And you cut these down at the end of March, beginning of April?
Cut them down in the, winter, dormant season, before any leaf out, basically, is ideal. So fresh logs, this is American beech. We have, this is sugar maple, this is red oak. Those are pretty common. You can also use birch, like you can see that are fruiting. You can use other oak. You can use other maple, but red maple doesn't tend to do very well. The bark doesn't stay on. It's pretty soft compared to sugar maple.
And you're only using live trees, right?
Yeah, because anything that's like really decayed would have other fungus in it already, so we want relatively clean wood. Like the beech bark has this disease, which is actually a fungus, that a fungus and a bug combine to do this kind of damage. But the shiitake doesn't care because it wants the inner wood. So, so bark diseases are okay. Bark fungus, unless it's gotten to a point where the log is just like, because this is really protects it, keeps it moist. Ideally, how they do this in Japan is they coppice whole clear sections of the trees, let them resprout, let them grow for 15 or 20 years, and then harvest them. So all of the wood is sapwood.
Daisuki, right?
What's that?
Daisuki?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's like
Is that one of the names?
method of coppicing.
Oh, okay. Word of the day. Daisuki?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
D-A-I-S-U-K-I.
Yeah. So that'd be ideal, but we don't have a lot of that. Those birch actually came from some coppicing we did up on the top of the property. But other than that, it's mostly like thinning in here where the trees are a little more like suppressed in the understory. So for drill, we use an angle grinder, which is a lot faster. And it has this special bit that is actually a Japanese shiitake log bit. Because it, you can use a regular drill bit, but you really have to like push then, and this one will just basically like suck itself into the log. So when you're doing this, you don't turn this on and off, you just kind of run it and go for it.
Does it have a stop on it that controls the depth?
Yeah, so it has a stop right here, so it won't go any, deeper than that. So it's actually quite pleasant. Before when I got started, I used to use a drill, and like a couple logs, you'd be like, my shoulder's getting tired. So it doesn't require that much. This drill bit will get kind of hot, and that causes abrasion. So I actually have a little oil here, like just vegetable oil. It's good to dip your bit in there once in a while.
How many?
So if you look on the wood here, we have big marks every 6 inches.
Oh, okay.
And so a row is about 6 inches. So if I line up this, I don't do it perfectly because it doesn't have to be perfect. But if I line this row up with those longer marks, and then the next row is about 2 inches from that, and I use the smaller marks in between. It makes this sort of diamond pattern. Oh, the other thing I should mention is if you drill, we have some safety gear because the chips do fly. And then this has a safety, so if you just press on it, it won't turn on. If you flip this down and then you let go, it stops. And just let it fully come to a stop before you set it down, and because otherwise it'll tend to hit things. And then just hang it on one of these hooks. So there can be at least 4 to 5 people working on these here. And this is the spawn phase of things. So this is shiitake mycelium in sawdust.
Here's what it looks like when it's just the block.
Yeah, and like a bag like that usually does about 25 logs.
Are you buying this from somebody?
Yes. So we buy it from Field and Forest Products. You can take a picture of the sticker on that one if you want. I can make it. We have the space, and we need a sterile space to make it, but it's cheaper to buy it. It's just better. It works. But this is sawdust. You don't want to use grain. You can buy spawn as sawdust or grain. You don't want to use grain here because critters will just eat it all and ruin your logs. So that's when we do the blocks and things. We use grain. But this station's really just using these plungers, and it'll make a little pellet of mycelium. As we all kind of do this, it'll get compacted, so we'll want to make sure it's nice and fluffy and that you're getting a full fill. And the way you can test is just with your finger to make sure it feels. It can look full, but like that looks full, but if I start pushing on it, there's actually quite a bit of space there. And if you have that, you can always top it off, but we want to make sure we're not leaving a big air gap in there, because the mycelium is going to go from the sawdust and move into the fibers of the wood. So if there's a gap there, it has a harder time doing that. Ideally, it's a little bit just right at the surface or a little bit lower, so that the wax will sit on there really well. And you can use your thumb like I am, or your palm if that's more comfortable. Just don't whack it really hard. You want to kind of be gentle with it, because it'll break these. If I've seen, I used to have college kids that come out here. It's like, oh, it's like stress relief, and they're like, bam! And like, it's also not good because it compacts this. So mycelium really needs to breathe. So if it's too compact in any form of mycelium, it's too compact, it has a hard time growing. So that's why if you actually look, it kind of like fluffs up, which means it's like a little sponge that has the airspace to grow. You can also buy, if you're doing just a few logs for yourself, you can buy wooden dowels and just hammer them in, which work fine and save you having to get these little tools. But either way it works. So we just kind of work our way around, and multiple people can do a log, and I won't do everything in front of you here, but we can finish this. And then once we're done with that, switch on to the wax. This is going to be, so what we do is, like, you use the wax that's on the concrete here, the little piece of brick, because I don't want the wax to drip all over the burner, and we're just going to be rotating them out so that it's hot. You want the wax to kind of sizzle when it goes on, so that it really seals. That's a little cool even, but it's okay. You can see it's getting a little bit of sizzle. If it's too cold, it'll just flake right off. So, is this on? Should be on.
It is on. Good steam.
I see steam.
So that's it. So you're just gonna kind of dab. And again, if we get in a good flow, sometimes somebody just hangs here for a bit and like takes logs from people and just waxes, and then we'll get them stacking. Don't put these back in here because they'll just melt. But we usually lean them up against this. And if you lean them up this way, they'll just get stuck. So.
Is this just canning wax you're using?
This is cheese wax, which is just
Soy, right?
it's a soy-based wax that just tends to seal really well. A lot of people are like, oh, I could use beeswax, but critters will come and eat it. So it's just been kind of the staple for us. And all that stuff, you can buy all the tools, spawn, everything from these suppliers. I actually have a few catalogs I can, if anyone wants one to look at or take home. I have a few from Field and Forest because they always.
To grow anything.